En lumière.
That's delicious. Welcome, everyone.
Oh my gosh. I miss cooking with you.
I miss cooking with you too.
Pierre has to put his arms
I have to
down.
put my arms down because I have to have them to cook. What a fun opening!
I know.
For season 2. For season 2.
We've been renewed.
We've been renewed, and we're back for another season. We have a couple of changes we'll tell you about during the show, but we are back for another season. Hope you saw our promo yesterday. We had a nice field trip. We went to the restaurant supply.
It's like being in Candyland.
Yeah, so
much fun.
we kind of restrained ourselves, but got a few little things that you'll see from time to time during our show. But today we're starting off with something new.
That fits us to a tea. All things that would be great for having tea. Now, I was informed this is not high tea.
Not high tea.
But tea, regular tea.
It's tea.
Tea time.
It's tea time.
And I'm going to jump in because I'm going to make scones.
You can't do tea without scones.
You cannot. And they have to bake, so we'll have them by the end of the episode.
So you're going to do scones. I'm going to do 3 kinds of finger sandwiches. And then we got a little bonus at the end that we're going to show you.
Bonus?
A bonus.
Ooh,
A bonus.
Okay. And I think it's pretty clear from our opening that the 2 shows we're going to highlight, Beauty and the Beast, which features a character that is a teapot.
Mrs. Potts.
Shout out to you, Julie Shaw, my first Mrs. Potts. And a show we know a little bit about.
Just a little bit.
Secret Garden. Set in England, where they have tea every day.
That's right.
All right. Okay, I'm going to jump in.
All right.
And, of course, the recipes will be on our website tomorrow. So I'll just kind of give you a general overview. We're going to start with 3 cups of flour.
What kind are we making?
I am making, these are, the recipe is Madison and Buttermilk scones. I've had this recipe for over 20 years.
Wow.
I make it all the time. It's just rock solid.
Excellent.
You can put in currants. You can put in dates. I'm putting in cherries.
Cherries. Yum. That sounds great.
Fall and cherry time.
Your yard?
Yeah, in my tree. So 3 cups of flour, and then 30 cup of sugar, baking powder, soda, and salt. All the specifics will be on the website tomorrow.
All the dry ingredients are going in.
Yes, all the dry ingredients are going in. And then I'm going to stir that up. So that it's all mixing together. And then a cup and a half. Ooh, I have it. Could you get my butter out of the fridge? It's a cup and a half of unsalted, chilled butter. And I will show you, I cut it into little chunks like that. Pieces. And you want to make sure it's cold because we're going to cut it in with a pastry knife.
So could you do this in a food processor?
I think you could. Kind of like your pie crust.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I think you could. And maybe I will try that next time.
Some people prefer to cut it in when they're making pastry, and some people prefer the food processor. I prefer the food processor.
I think it probably would speed up the whole process. Ooh, like Aaron.
Don't leave any butter out.
No.
Give me your time. Put it in.
Thank you.
I'm separating it. The side is for you, and the side is for me.
Love it.
We always have to sort the dishes.
How long did it take us to figure that out?
That's what the hiatus was for.
Here's my pastry blender. I'm going to start cutting it up, and you want to keep cutting it up until it resembles coarse cornmeal. So it's kind of fine, and you're cutting up all the butter. So while I'm doing that, I have a great trivia question.
Okay, I'm ready.
While I was researching the shows, so again, we're talking about Beauty and the Beast, which opened on Broadway in 1994 and became the 10th longest running musical.
Really?
Yeah, even though it had mixed reviews, it was such a family smash success. 5,461 performances.
It didn't do very well at the Tonys, did it?
It didn't. It only won.
One.
You know for what?
Probably costumes. Yeah. But, that's when Disney started taking over Broadway. And they weren't really, welcomed with open arms.
They weren't.
And that was about the time that 42nd Street started its revolution into being a place where you could bring your family. Remember
Oh.
that? Yeah.
Well, I do remember in the 80s that was not a place you wanted to bring your family.
Didn't Beauty and the Beast open at the Palace Theater?
I have not heard that information,
I think
but
that's
I'm going
where
to
it
trust you on that.
I think that's what it was.
Do you know the actor who played the Beast? The first one of my favorite Broadway performers.
I do know who it is. Can I come up with his name?
He was also
he was
Javert.
Javert, yeah.
Oh, Terrence Mann.
Terrence Mann.
He was the bad guy in Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yes.
What a voice!
Yes,
I mean, what a voice. But my trivia question is: our other show is Secret Garden.
Yes.
And can you tell me the two actresses who played the leads, Belle in Beauty and the Beast, Mary in Secret Garden, had the same last name?
Oh, were they sisters?
Not that I know of.
Oh, they were not sisters.
I don't think they were related.
Maybe cousins.
They may be cousins, a few years apart. So I'm going to let that question dangle out there.
I believe I know the answer, but I'm not going to say. I'm going to let our
Yes,
listeners.
Why is that show so special to us?
Secret Garden?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done it twice and you've done it twice, and we only do it together.
That's right. In the same positions. Director, Archie.
Yes, exactly.
That's the only way we'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got that.
Oh, that's great.
And
I'm going to hold. Can I put my hand in there so we can see?
Yeah,
See how that? It's like little peas in there.
little peas in there. Little peas in the
That
butter.
makes what happened. Why do we put all the butter in there?
You put that butter and you put it in a really hot oven, and that butter kind of explodes and gives you the layers.
Kind of like puff pastry.
Yeah,
Except we
exactly.
don't have as many layers.
So now I'm going to add.
Mmm.
So I've got 3/4 cup of dried cherries. I cut them up, and then the zest of an orange.
Do you remember our tip on zesting? You don't want to get any of the white, the
None of the
pits, none of the pits.
Because it'll be bitter.
It will be bitter. But that smells fantastic.
It does.
Kind of reminds me of the holidays.
It does. And like I said, you can put different fruits in. Here, how to do it.
It's nothing like food that smells like Labor Day.
Sweat. Hot dogs. I don't know. What food? That's your next trivia question. What food smells like sweat, and who wants to eat it? Okay. Well, you know what I need? I need a spoon.
A spoon.
Or a fork. Whichever.
Here's a spoon.
Ooh, thank you. It's not enchanted, but it'll do.
That'll be when we finish the video.
I have to quickly give a shout out, and I did Beauty and the Beast, which was several years ago. Is that in my area?
Yes, ma'am.
There was a college student named Ryan Wilson, a city guy who's gone on to be in lots of shows.
Yeah.
Hello, Dolly. He was supposed to be in The Music Man that was reopening. He's just gone wonderful things.
Well, you need to thank me for staying with you and not leaving it.
I know.
started
I'm heading off to Broadway. Once it starts to pull away, as you can see, and my hands are clean. Hands. You get in there with your hands and you pull it all together.
Wonderful.
You do the hokey pokey, and that's what it's all about.
in my size.
That's yours. Okay,
Super.
would you down there as my giant? Oh, thank you. My glass on the side, right? But no.
Oh.
And I'm going to use this to roll it out.
Okay. I guess you want the smooth side.
Yes. Okay, so while I'm doing this, and I'm going to start rolling it out, I'm going to hand it over to Kevin
All right.
and let him start doing some of his stuff.
We're going to do 3 kinds of finger sandwiches today. We're going to do a chicken salad, and we're doing that because that was your favorite when we did a tea party.
I still remember that cast party and those sandwiches.
Yeah. So we're going to do a chicken salad. We're going to do a tribute to the South, pimento cheese. So in Southern England, they probably have pimento cheese sandwiches. And then we're going to return to a recipe we did early in our shows and do some cucumber finger sandwiches. So the first thing we're going to do is the chicken. And what I did is I just went to the grocery store and got a rotisserie chicken. And these are 2 breasts of a rotisserie chicken that I've just cut up in very small pieces. So we're just going to use that so we don't have to cook anything today. I have 2 stalks of celery and 1 shallot that I'm going to throw in here.
Now,
Yes.
we've given shouts out to Aldi. Can I
Yes.
give a shout out to Costco? Could you
Yes.
use that great chicken breast
Yes.
can for this?
You could. I don't really like it as a can. I like
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
okay. The
But you could.
rotisserie is better.
Yeah, the rotisserie's better. And then we have a half a cup of slivered almonds. Now you can use the sliced, but I like the slivered because they have a nice little crunch to it. So throw those in there. A quarter teaspoon of salt and an eighth of a teaspoon of pepper. Make sure you season it. It's important that you season it. And then we have a cup of mayonnaise. Remember my tip for mayonnaise? We don't use any mayonnaise that has the word miracle in it.
No holy mayonnaise.
No holy mayonnaise. If you could find mayonnaise that's royalty, that maybe like Duke or something like that, that would be a great mayonnaise to use. Duke, have you not used Duke's mayonnaise?
No.
Oh, that's a southern. Oh, yes, southern.
That would go in the pimento cheese then.
Yes. Okay, so we just mix that up, and it's ready to go. Now, it's important that you don't cut your chicken up too big because when you put it on the finger sandwiches, you want it to be dainty. Dainty.
Finger sandwich.
Not hoagies. And that's why you only need 1 or 2 chicken breasts. You can even do it with 1 chicken breast. Because you don't need a lot because you're not going to load it. Because this is tea, it's not dinner or lunch.
But it's later high tea.
It's not high tea. It's not high tea. We're going to tell you some variations at the end of the program. You don't even know this. We're going to tell you some variations at the end of the program about how you can vary your teas up a little bit.
Okay. All right. While you're mixing, I'm going to show that I rolled this out. Hopefully you can see.
Oh, that looks great.
And you want it about a ½ inch thick.
Uh-huh.
And there's a couple ways you can do this. In the past, I've cut them into like pie shapes. They get pretty big that way. So I've got my cookie cutters. And if you have fun cookie cutters, I have hearts.
Nice.
And I have circles. So just going to start cutting and put them on a greased cookie sheet, or I love my silk hats. I'm going to do that. So I, again, want to show that. I'm going to pop these in the oven while Kevin goes on to a finger sandwich.
2. This is pimento cheese. This is 8 ounces of shredded or ground or whatever you want to call it. Medium cheddar cheese. cheese. Another spoon here. We're going to put in another cup of mayonnaise.
We need a sponsor. Duke, where are you?
Duke, where are you?
Call us. We can work something out.
And we're going to put in 1 small jar of pimentos. It's
What
really
are
easy.
pimentos? Do you have info on pimentos?
I don't have info on pimentos.
Are they just...
I've never been to a pimento farm.
Do they grow on trees? Do you harvest them? Are they a pepper? Little...
All right. We're going
to get comments about that. Hopefully.
All right. This is a very difficult recipe. It's pimentos and cheese and mayonnaise. Maybe we should call it pimento cheese mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd have all the ingredients. So, okay?
425.
Oh, those are beautiful.
About 12 minutes. Now I'm going to set the timer for 6 minutes. I like to rotate it, make sure they're baking evenly. I'm a big proponent of that.
Yes. So, the first time we did Secret Garden was the first time that we ever worked together, right, Barb?
It was. I'm so happy when you watched me.
Well, I had been stalked by Martha Risser.
Get in line.
I had just done Into the Woods at JCCC, how everybody sees, Johnson County Community College. And she had been to see it. And when I walked out to my car after the show, I saw some smoke in the.
Oh, I think she was smoking.
Oh, I think.
Or maybe she was just.
I don't know. I think I did see smoke coming out of the bushes, and I heard this voice. Hey, come here.
Come over here. You know,
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many wonderful people Martha has stalked over the years and got to be in
Yep.
Beautiful.
We love that. We love that.
Yeah. And it all worked out well, didn't it?
It did. It did.
It was
So much fun that we did it a second time.
That's right.
At the park.
At the park outdoors. That
Yes.
was a little more challenging.
It was a little more challenging. Same thing I did the first time in park would say, bigger! Bigger! Has to be bigger at the
At the
park.
park, everything's bigger.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to
All right.
leave you for a moment.
All right. I'll finish up here. So everything else here is made for the cucumber sandwiches. This is a cream cheese vegetable spread that we did in our second episode, which was on appetizers. And if you remember, are you okay over there? If you remember, I was making it right here and everything fell on the floor. That was when we were early in the process. So if you want the rest,
what happened? I totally forgot about it.
remember I was mixing here and all the vegetables fell on the floor, and we just smiled and moved on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's that recipe, and we'll repost it here. But I didn't want to make it again.
What is it called?
It's a garden spread. It's called garden spread cream cheese. Now, the secret to making great tea sandwiches is to have different kinds of bread. So we're going to use a different kind of bread for each one of our sandwiches. So this is a pumpkin spice bread that I found today.
Oh, it's that time of year.
Yeah, and we're going to use that on the cream cheese and cucumber sandwiches. And this is a whole wheat loaf, and we're going to use that on the chicken sandwiches. And this is a little pumpernickel.
You're a little pumpernickel.
We're going to use that on the pimento cheese. So we're going to start with the cream cheese sandwiches.
Can you wash my hands
All right.
again because
I thought we did that do-si-do at the beginning. So I'm going to make a couple of each one. So we just spread the cream cheese on there. I'm going to put this over here so you can see. And you're going to have a great job with this one. I'll show you what you're going to do with this.
I'm excited.
So we've got the cream cheese on there, and we're going to take the cucumbers, and we're just going to line them up on the, and you slice them as thin as you can.
Thinner.
Yeah.
Thinner. And whatever's left, you can put on your eyes
Yes.
for beauty treatment later.
And I like to put just a little bit of salt. There. And since, then we put the top on.
Oh, those are going to be.
Yeah. Now, since we're doing a fall theme, I'm going to take a fall cookie cutter, which is a little leaf, and I'm just going to push that down all the way through. Pull the sides off. That bread might be a little thick. I should have done it on the small. It's all right. It'll work. Cut this
Yeah, I'm
off.
saying the other thing, you can slice it into finger-like pieces.
Yeah, we're going to do that on the other ones.
Okay.
All right, and that comes out.
Look at that.
And you just push it out here.
So adorable. It smells good too.
So we've got a leaf sandwich there. So we'll do that one there. I'm going to do one of each one for right now so you can see how we do each one. All right, and see, your cook's got something to sample there.
Oh, yes.
All right, we're going to make our pimento cheese. I'm going to get the spoon out. Put a glob of pimento cheese on here.
You know, the woman who introduced me to pimento cheese is the same woman who made me this Bugs Bunny. Mary Husted, a mother of one of my closest friends, and she was from the South. She was from Texas. And I was spending the night, and they had pimento cheese. I'd never heard of such a thing.
Oh.
But I loved it. I mean, cheese and mayonnaise.
Yep.
And some pimentos.
And I'm just going to cut that in half.
You know the fun thing about going somewhere special and having tea is when they bring the tiered plates.
Yes.
And you get to pick, and you can do the savory, and you have the sweet, and you're trying the different teas. It's just so fun. Have you been to places?
I have.
Like, where's your favorite place?
The Ritz in London.
The Ritz in London.
It's my very favorite place.
I've never been there.
You've been to London, though, haven't you?
No, I've not.
How can you not have been to London?
I haven't been there.
We need to go to London and visit Gordon Ramsay's restaurant.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. We'll do a remote.
Once we want to get on a plane.
We'll do a remote from Gordon Ramsay's place.
I have had tea at the Peninsula in Chicago.
Oh, that's
which is a nice hotel, and it's kind of one of the things they were known for. And it was grand. It was grand.
It was the Grand Hotel. That's a musical, isn't it?
That's something.
I don't think they have tea at the Grand Hotel.
They have a lot of intrigue and musical numbers.
Intrigue and musical numbers, yes. But I don't think there's any tea party.
Good show.
It was a good show. All right.
That you directed at the barn last year.
Last year.
Sure.
All right, so I'm going to try to do different cuts so we get different designs. So we're going to do these in long strips.
Finger.
Very good.
Where did the term come from? Oh.
Let's see how easy.
This would be a great way to teach children about shapes.
Yes, it
and
would
they
be.
could eat their lunch later.
And there we go.
That's pretty. And this bread is so cool with the
Isn't it?
swirls.
Yeah,
You could do
yeah.
cinnamon bread, pumpkin bread.
The only thing is it's a little thick. You can see how thin these are in that one.
Yeah, I say usually with tea they're like thinner because it's supposed to be little bites of things. But
are you using that?
no.
Pull it over here. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna flip around my scones.
Let me show you a little trick in making your tea sandwiches. If you're doing a lot of them, obviously you're going to do more than one sandwich if you're having a tea party. You can lay your sandwiches out. I've run out of bread, but that's okay. Lay your sandwiches out like this. Make your sandwiches. Put the tops on. Excuse me.
I wanted to get in on this secret.
Take some paper towels.
Whoa! The enchanted paper towels.
Undo them. Don't squeeze them so tightly.
Please don't squeeze the Sean.
Yes. And we're going to put those right on top of the bread.
And tell me what the trick is. Is this to get them ahead of time?
This if we wanted to make them like the day before. And then we would take wax paper, or not wax paper, saran wrap, and wrap the whole thing.
Okay.
And that will keep them moist for the next day so you have all your sandwiches ready to go. And then all you have to do is cut them. You're ready to go.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Nice little idea.
Yeah.
I stole that from a famous chef.
Thank you.
She works in the garden a lot.
Oh, okay. She doesn't always put butter in things. She
No.
works in the garden. Okay. I think we can figure that out. I know we're getting close. We have a few minutes and we're going to finish up the scones. So I was going to let people know. Some people may have answered the trivia question earlier, but the answer, the same last name, is Egan. Susan Egan played Belle. And Daisy Egan played Mary Lennox, who won the Tony for Best Featured Actress, which begs the question, who had a bigger part than she did in that show? And don't say Archie. Archie.
Well, just in our shows.
Right. When you upstaged her constantly. Yeah. No, but they...
The hump up.
What hump?
Yeah.
No, she became the youngest woman to ever win a Tony at the age of 11. I still remember when she won, and she was adorable, and she thanked her agent.
Uh-huh. And I'll ask you a trivia question.
Oh.
Who presented her the Tony Award?
That's a great question.
Not really known as a stage actress, more of a film actress.
It was a woman.
It was a woman. Yes.
I don't know. Can you give me a clue?
Yes. She did a movie about, it was not really about, but the word breakfast is in it.
Audrey Hepburn. Actresses of two different calibers. I do love Molly, but Audrey's in it.
Audrey is the one.
Can you imagine being 11, being on Broadway, winning a Tony, and Audrey Hepburn hands it to you? I mean, what do you do after that?
She probably didn't know who it was. Well, she's done nothing since then, has she?
She's done some stuff. I know she's been around, but she may have peeked there. If she is.
Hey, I want to show you.
Hey, look at this.
I want to show you this, but I want to talk about something else if we have time. I think we do.
Kevin did in his spare time.
Yes. But before I talk about this, when you're doing tea parties, you don't have to make everything. Because you also need some little sweet things. So you can go to a bakery and get the little sweet things that you want to add.
Truffles.
Like truffles. You do little chocolates. You can do some fruit, do a fruit dip, that sort of thing. But really, you don't have to make everything. I would say make 2 things and everything else go by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Little quiches.
Yeah, little quiches are good.
Yeah.
And also, don't load the table with food. Yeah, you don't want it to look like a buffet.
No, I think of tea as a lighter.
Yeah.
Like I said, the trays of food with a few things on each one. You're right. It's not a big buffet.
Yeah, it's not a buffet.
It's not Bob.
Actually, there are no buffets anymore anyway.
That's right.
Who knows?
No buffet.
But I like to make a little treat and put them on everybody's plates when they come in. And the treats can be part of what you're serving, or it can be something for them to take home. So I've done some little chocolate molds here, and these are very easy. Why don't you show those?
Oh my gosh! Look at this little pumpkin. I don't know if you can see that. It's adorable. Little acorn.
Yeah. So you just basically
I hope there's no squirrel in here. Not a bite itself.
Oh, there is a squirrel. There is a squirrel. Somewhere there's a squirrel.
Buried at the bottom.
There it is. You can take that home.
Squirrels are my nemesis.
So this is just a cake mold. And what I do, you don't have to spray them or anything. You melt the chocolate.
Well, they're different.
Yeah. You melt the chocolate and you pour it in here, and then I put it in the refrigerator overnight usually. And then before I'm ready to dump it out, I put it in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And the freezer allows it to release. And then you just dump it over. But you don't want to dump it over from here so it hits the counter because they'll break. So I put a pan here, flip it over, and then it catches.
Where did you get this?
I got this at Home Goods. But it's really cool because it's got turkey, and it's got a leaf, and it's got a pumpkin, and it's got...
You've got all these great... Usually, it's like all of one thing, and then you have to buy several. But I have a question. Your little pumpkin top is green.
It is green.
How did that happen?
Okay, so you can see in the mold that there's the little... can you see that? I'll let me pull close. There's a little thing here for the leaf. So what I did, I took... and I melted that, and then I took a paintbrush and filled in the green sections. It's pandemic, folks. You gotta find something to do.
Do it.
I will never dot again. Never dot again.
Another fun show we did.
Cookies. And then shortbread. Oh, the scones are coming out. So I made shortbread cookies in the shape of leaves, and then I also had some in the shape of acorns. You can't see the acorn. There's an acorn in the back of that one. So you just get these little bags at a craft store and get the ribbon and tie it around there, and you've got a nice little treat. You can hand these out for trick or treat too if you wanted to, but you just put them on a plate and people can take those home. I always like for people to leave your tea with something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this. Now, clotted cream is very popular in England. Mm-hmm. I did a little research. It's kind of a labor-intensive thing to make.
What is clotted cream?
It's this close to being butter. It's taking your whipped cream. I kind of equate it to Greek yogurt, where you take yogurt and you get all of that extra moisture out. Clotted cream, you take heavy cream, and one recipe was you put it in the oven for 8 to 12 hours at 200 degrees. And then you take it out and you keep it in the refrigerator, and then you've got extra liquid you're going to drain off of it. I didn't make clotted cream. Okay, I think whipping cream is just as good. Mm-hmm. And so I have the whipping cream. I have cherry preserves to go with the cherry scones. And I know we always like to try things.
We do. So let's get our scones here, and let's get our sandwiches here. We can cut that.
Look at that.
We can cut that one in half so we each get one.
Yeah.
Scones first.
Scones, they're hot, so be careful.
Now you do your scones that way. I do mine this way. I just break them off.
I like maximum butter area and cream area. You can do whatever you want. I'll put a little of that cherry.
No, these scones are not hard because sometimes scones are hard.
And that's why
I like these. Very nice.
Don't overbake them. And rotate your pan.
It's got a nice crust on the bottom, but the inside is very soft.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to use your knife.
And I have to give credit to Nancy Wallerstein. She's the one who's had these scones in the past and said, you need to make the scones.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
And the orange just gives it that lightness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very nice. I like that.
Mm.
So good.
And I think you could make this dough up the night before and bake them fresh in the morning. So they're nice and warm.
Let's pick a sandwich.
Okay. Well, I know I want the pimento.
Oh, you don't want the chicken? I thought chicken.
I want both.
We'll eat whatever. Get whatever you want.
I'm going to take one of each.
Okay.
And then we'll cut this later.
Okay.
And you know, I love the dill in here.
Yeah. Our chicken salad's so good. Don't forget the salt and pepper. That brings out all the flavoring.
Salt and pepper!
Salt and pepper, bring it up.
Mm. You know, that pumpernickel's really great. It's a hearty enough.
Okay. Let's quickly try this last sandwich.
Oh, I'm probably going to pimento.
I'll try this one.
All right.
It's on the pumpkin bread.
Mm.
So good. Remember that recipe's from the second episode, but we'll do it again.
Oh, we have some things to talk about for future episodes, don't we?
We do.
I think I can.
We're going to do an episode every 2 weeks now instead of every week because we're getting old and tired. But our next episode in 2 weeks is going to be all about apples. We're going to go to an apple orchard, get some fresh apples, and do some fall recipes with apples, which I think you'll like. So that'll be fun. So that'll be 2 weeks from today.
Chicken salad is my favorite.
I told you. Hey.
Oh, gosh. I love it.
Let's have a toast.
Oh,
Final tea.
this is hot.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you had a good time. We'll see you next week on Sing for Your Supper. Like 2 weeks, sorry.
2 weeks.
Sing for Your Supper. Cheers.
Cheers.